Hey everybody, welcome to What a Hell of a Way to Die, Pod Dad inside of the Pod Shack. This is where the magic happens. This is where I sit and sweat while we make 9/11 jokes while watching, A Knight's Tale. So this is where, like, if you're like, God, where should we drop the bomb? Here's the Pod Shack. But what's really great about it is it's a place where I can hang out. I can have all of my goofy little tchotchkes, and nobody ever comes down and is just like, why do you have this autographed picture of a pig pooping on its balls right underneath a wanted poster of Osama bin Laden that you stole from Afghanistan in 2004? Nobody asks those questions, because if you are asking those questions, it's in awe rather than in disgust. So let's kind of discuss some things. I wanted to talk about technical of the week. Now, this is a technical that I have been watching and looking over for multiple days at this point in time, because there's just so much going on here, right? Like, first off, it's a motorcycle, but it's also a flatbed truck. This is not the first time that I've seen a motorcycle be used as a technical. There's arguments that can be made about whether or not a one man show is a technical. Some people would say, that you need to have a driver and a gunner. But I mean, we're going to break down into this a little bit more and see if we can kind of figure out what's going on here. But I do love that we have a motorcycle attached to a flatbed. I don't know if this is something that is normal, if this is if it came out manufactured like this. Like, one would usually think, well, a motorcycle isn't going to have the kind of torque you need for hauling, but it's kind of a small bed, and sometimes you just need to move stuff from point A to point B. Like, this is like Idlib Gator, rather than the little four-wheel Gator that you have, and you put your shit in the back and it's like nice and covered. You've got something like this. So I don't know if this is welded together. It looks very aftermarket to me. I could be incorrect though. It would not be the first time. And like I said, people manufacture some weird stuff that doesn't make it here to America. See the Toyota Hilux. So let's kind of break down some things here. The first off is we've got the Dishka machine gun. This is probably the most normal part of the entire technical. I would say that if you yourself are trying to build a technical and you're like, what kind of gun should I put in the back of this beat up pickup truck that I found? If if you don't know what to start with the Dishka machine gun. It's heavy enough that it is actually anti-personal and a little bit anti-material. Very comparable to the American Ma Deuce 50 cal machine gun. It uses the same butterfly trigger system in the back. Same heavy caliber. Can't be, wielded by one guy Ramboing around. You can't do that. Rambo did an M60, which was pretty big, but it was not as big as this thing. So this is a good place to start. If you want to work your way up after this, get yourself personally, I would not put a kind of rocket pod or anything. Maybe a rocket pod up top here. I wouldn't do anti-aircraft. I wouldn't do a ZU-23. I think that would just blow the whole thing over. Like, one shot, the whole thing is going to go flying off into the distance. So I think the Dishka is a really good place to start here. However, let's kind of dig in a little bit deeper here. So our hero here, I think, has what seems to be an RPD machine gun, which is a smaller, lighter machine gun that can be, used by one person. But it seems to be attached to a steel reinforced office chair as a back gunner. So I'm wondering if this whole thing is supposed to be like a machine gun emplacement. You drive into place and you've got your upper area where you can send somebody up, hey, we've got Overwatch here. But while you're driving out there and you're getting chased by, I don't know, ISIS, Taliban, Russian, Wagner, whoever is pissed off at, the technical coming through here, you've got a back gunner. And maybe it is your upper gunner, during the drive, he's back there, he's keeping things, keeping your tail taken care of. Which, again, is a new thing for me, if that's what's going on. Although I will say that it really doesn't seem like this is actually bolted into place here. It feels like it's just kind of an afterthought. So I don't know. I haven't seen this thing in motion. I would love to see how anybody manages to use all the various parts of this. Because if we also take a look, we have a ladder that has to go up to use the machine gun emplacement that's up top. and it looks like it kind of comes down over the front of the machine, or the, excuse me, the motorcycle here. So what we're looking at here is a way you dismount and then you go on up there and you've got your machine gun emplacement. Now again, like I mean, look at this thing. It's I need to talk to this hero here, because like my originally I look at this and you think, okay, this is gonna be a like at least a two-man job, but like this guy could be like a one-man band of death. Just like rolls into the battle space, does Overwatch with his massive machine gun, and can dismount and do, you know, small arms machine gun fire at the end. Like, is it just this guy? Like, what else do we have going on here? It looks like the whole machine gun is just kind of like, it looks like it might be remotely controlled too. Like, if you look at this boom arm that it's got here, got coming down. You've got the machine gun, and then it's on this thing that pivots, obviously. And I'm wondering if this is all hooked up to a way where this guy can just like kind of fire it blindly, because there doesn't seem to be any like real optics other than the iron sights that come on these things. You know, there's not any kind of video camera that I can see. So I'm just wondering, you climb up the ladder, like there's no chair up there, like, but perhaps like this chair that we have back here, rather than it being a place to sit and shoot your machine gun, it's a place to sit and you can actually fire off, like maybe use the emplacement, the thing here that he's got, and move it back and forth. So I mean, I gotta hand it to you. I've never seen a two-story technical. I've never seen something that like was obviously put together by like one guy who, everybody has that friend that's like really into like building something, and they get really into, and they get further and further into it, and like normally that guy would have like a YouTube. Like this is like the Mark Rober of Idlib. You know, this is a guy who has created some kind of machine gun where he can operate it from a very safe area, but also get in and get out very quick. Like a motorcycle is going to get to places a lot faster than, you know, any kind of military vehicle. So I gotta say, hats off to this. I love it. I love that this is a two-story technical, one that I've never seen. I like that it has lumbar support in the back. I like that it has a little cover that makes sure that the sun and the hot brass don't fall on you if you happen to be the guy who has to drive while somebody else has to shoot. So, everything about this looks great. I would love to see it in action. I would love to see it moving, shooting, and doing what it does best. And here's hoping that it manages to live out the war and end up in a museum somewhere where we can all ooh and ah over it. So that is our technical of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you're looking forward to more, because it's going to come whether you want it or not.